in Afghanistan now.
Okay. Well, it says we're
Of
live.
course. Well, it lies because it said that earlier.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. I screwed up the hitting the wrong story of my life. Anyway, Richard asked us to talk about Charlie Byers this morning, so just wanted to mention that Charlie was, for over 50 years, the main guy here in the Wichita area for the National Weather Service for all the hurricane, tornado, and everything else watches.
Yep.
And
He ran a tight, really tight ham radio network.
yeah, he was a ham radio operator and had his own little cubbyhole over at the Emergency Operations Center.
He did not like anybody else getting in. Don't.
I've noticed they tend to be ham radio operators.
He didn't want anybody in the door but him,
Yeah.
including the director.
He ran.
When I was a kid, before the age of Doppler radar,
Mhm.
my dad and I were part of the Tornado Watch ham network. And when the watches went up, we'd jump in a car and we'd drive around to our designated area.
Yeah.
And we'd watch clouds.
Yeah, and that's the key point. And Charlie was hard over that we are not tornado chasers. God damn it.
No.
We are spotters.
Yes.
We go somewhere, we sit there, we don't move unless it's going to hit us, or I tell you to move.
Did he show you his ham radio setup?
Yes.
Oh my God. He had, dude, if you even mentioned vacuum tubes,
Yeah.
Charlie would be all over you like a rash.
Yeah.
He was buying vacuum tubes from outer Siberia.
I built the Heathkit ham radio.
Oh, I love Heathkit. I love Heathkit.
So I built this, and Heathkits are weird. They're fun. On the back of the way you wired it all up when you were done.
Yeah.
The back panel had an open 220 volts.
Yeah.
Oh.
So one day I'm rearranging my desk.
Yeah.
There's ham radio stacked on it because, like my dad, I did that, and I didn't bother to unplug it. I just reached behind and that
And your arm went numb.
all the hair on the lower part of my arm was gone, and you could smell this burn. Oh, it was not good. So that ended my ham radio career because
Charlie was military. He was second Louis, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was second Louis military. Did some sneak stuff. Monitoring Chinese, Russian radio traffic.
Yeah, he was ASA, but I asked him that one time. I said, "Were you ever ASA?" He just kind of looked at it. Maybe.
They confirmed that in the paper today, by the way.
Well, now that it's dead.
Yeah. Good guy, grouchy, but a good guy. And like I said, he would had a hard on for vacuum tubes. So I'm guessing at least half of those that ham radio set up in his office ran vacuum tubes.
Well, hell, it was damn Heathkits.
Yeah.
Those things were 60 years old if they were a day.
At least.
And he had all the spare tubes.
Yeah.
Under the desk.
And he kept the burned out tubes in the box.
Yeah.
Is that a ham radio thing? When a tube burned out, he put it back in the box and filed it away.
Yeah.
Well, he filed it in the I no longer have a spare box. But that way he knew exactly what tube he had to have.
Yeah. Because the writing is about yay
Yeah.
big.
And goes away when it burns out.
Honestly, vacuum tubes are the best for radios.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, they're stable.
They're stable, and EMP apparently doesn't affect them.
Well, it does, but it doesn't fry them like a circuit chip would.
Yeah.
And they're analog.
Yeah.
So digital circuitry, I mean, you're doing discrete steps.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas analog tubes, you've got this flow going. So if the atmospherics are shifting the signal by just a hair, you can still tune it in.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And Aaron says, I had to close the app and open it again to get the stream. Sorry about that. That was my screw up.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks.
YouTube's about as honest as Facebook. That's
Considering YouTube is owned lock, stock, and sold by Google.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Google took out the don't part of don't be evil, their motto, don't be evil.
Yeah.
Oh, they got busted for literally brainwashing their employees a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they are more reliable than silicon chips, Sanford. The
till they burn out because apparently nobody makes them anymore.
Oh, they make them. It's
Do
just, yeah.
Well, finding the tube, because the numbers have changed.
Ah,
Yeah, the IEEE,
Yeah.
which is the Electronic Engineering Association, they keep changing the standards.
Yeah.
I'll bet that hacks off the head,
Thank
guys.
God, thank God they haven't changed the resistor coloring.
Yeah,
They will not
yeah.
change that, thank God. Now that I've said that, somebody's gonna say, hey.
Be a good
Yeah,
idea.
in
Went through and
the
changed the color.
Connie and the magnetron was about this big. It was a tube.
Oh wow.
2.5 million watt peak power out of that son bitch.
When I was at Iowa State, they have an ENIAC.
Yeah.
In the computer science space, because that's kind of where ENIAC was developed. And when I was there, they went through and they were going to get the ENIAC working again.
Yeah.
So they literally went through the entire planet and bought every vacuum tube they could get their hands on.
Oh yeah.
And they just barely got it running.
Well, a friend of mine is heavy into ham radio still, Jim Zaruski out in Colorado Springs, or in northern Colorado.
Chris says we got no picture, and Cedar's asking if we're having problems.
Tell them to reset.
Reload. Reload.
Yeah, reload it and it should come in. Yeah, they drift slowly enough that, yeah, you can get a heads up without losing everything. Yeah. But what we used to do to tune the radios, because they were all ARC-10 radios, was the radioman on the airplane had two different sets of fluorescent tubes. One was about 18 inches long, or a little over a foot long, and could literally sit there and tune the radio. And when it was on free, that fluorescent bulb would go beep and light up.
Apparently, nobody can see us.
Okay.
No,
Tell them to close the app and open it again.
yeah, I had to close it and reopen it, and that brought it back.
Yeah, Joel says, I'm sure they wanted to change the resistor coloring since the existing standard has only one good mnemonic and it's not safe for work. This is true, Joel.
They're gonna change the coloring because they're woke. Oh God,
It would
no.
not surprise me.
No. Jesus.
It would not surprise me. And Joel says he can see it. Okay.
We had a
Few people are wandering over.
bunch of retired Rockwell Collins guys that because you have to maintain the avionics if it's still flying. So every now and again, really old autopilots would come in, and they had this cadre of retired Rockwell Collins guys, and they'd call one of them in. They'd pay him an outrageous day rate, and they would tear the autopilot apart. He'd plug a couple wires and he'd listen to it on his headset.
Yeah.
He'd look at the oscilloscope, and then he'd go in this drawer full of resistors, pull out one with four, and then he'd stick it in a random. It seemed like he stuck it in a random spot, soldered it in, box it all back up, sent it back up.
Yeah.
So it was working again.
Oh yeah.
These guys, it was black magic how they got those to work.
Yeah. Well, it was the same with some of the old radios. And for as far as that goes, some of the programming.
Oh,
JPL has guys in their 90s that still work for JPL on contract.
yeah, but they've got shoeboxes full of punch cards
Yeah.
that they're not going to let anybody have.
Because JPL still uses an ES400,
Doesn't surprise me.
which is the 60s, early 60s technology.
What was it? There's during the early satellite age, we sent up a satellite and
Voyager.
it got lost. And then not too many years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, so they started getting signals from it again. They didn't know what they were getting.
Okay.
So NASA, being NASA, threw it up on their social media site, said, hey,
Anybody remember?
and some old retired guy from the program said, hey, yeah, that's that satellite we lost. Well, so they call these guys back in because they don't even have the computers to talk to it anymore.
Well, Voyager is still
Oh,
running.
yeah, no,
It
no,
shouldn't,
this
it
is
shouldn't be.
This was early. This is way
Yeah.
before Voyager. This is
Yeah.
early as like the 50s, early 60s.
I can hear the sound of walkers coming down the hall
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
The line off my
They,
breast.
fi- they figured out that when it did its orbit insertion breaks, it was just a
Yeah.
It was something wonky, and it started oscillating like this. So it never had a good lock on the
Yeah.
planet. And as time has gone on, and the solar wind has slowed the rock down.
Yeah.
It took about 50 years, but the thing is still working.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a few more people have wandered over. Sorry about that, folks. That was my screw up this morning, or this afternoon, not y'all's.
Yeah.
And now we'll turn it over to Ian for the latest in the chicken wars.
Oh.
De-radicalized chickens.
Yeah, the Poultry Liberation Front had a great tragedy last night. Apparently, enough of the neighborhood had it up to here with feral chickens in their yards that
No pun intended.
no, all puns intended. That Biff and Tad Cluckerton and Frankie the Beak Lombico have gone to the great KFC in the sky.
Yeah.
Yep. Frankie the Beak is gone. The one chicken that tried to stand up to
You know
Mochi.
what's going to happen?
Hmm.
We're gonna have a team of Roadrunner assassins come in.
Well, the one of those chickens that tried to stand up to Mochi, and he went after Mochi and didn't realize that Chewy was coming up on his 6 o'clock, and feathers everywhere. And Frankie the Beak took off, and Chewy was hanging onto his butt. I mean, Chewy had a death grip on that chicken's butt. The chicken's flapping, and he's, Chewy on his hind legs, so it weighs 14 pounds. And chicken's flap, 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 the vertical, flap, 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 flap. Until the feathers tore loose, which had to sting. Anyway, the Cluckertons and Lombico are
That's too bad.
in the freezer as we speak.
You think
So now they're down to one rooster.
Yeah, Tatsumi Bakamoto
they
and 2 hens.
picked not the largest rooster?
They
Yeah.
left the smallest rooster,
They left the smallest rooster
the smallest,
because
loudest rooster.
you want to breed for.
Apparently, vocal capacity, because that
Yeah.
little bastard.
You don't.
Yes, Cedar's PLF sketches are hilarious.
Yeah, I love those.
those.
There's not enough go fast lines coming off the chickens, but
And I'm here to tell you that Olga Chickenova and Bakamoto and Helen Hennington are very quiet right now.
I
You know,
don't
and
think they.
the bad thing is they're going to find out that roosters are tough.
Yeah.
They're not that
Yeah,
good. at
still,
eating.
I had my slow cooker out. If Rio would have cleared that subsonic Aguila,
I've got a couple of boxes of it.
I got 500 rounds of Super Calibri and the Super Subsonic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't stabilize real well, but 15 feet doesn't have to.
Good meet you.
And I was fixing, somebody was getting Biff, because Biff went after my ankles one time thinking it was the biggest worm he'd ever seen.
Well, let's be honest. They're the same color.
What worms are you using these days?
Those big earthworms, the big pink ones.
They're not that pink. I'm sorry. Stewing, and yeah, Sanford, stewing can get them to a point where they're edible. They're still not that good.
Jim gave us a Instapot, and I have a great deal of faith in the Instapot's ability to take, well, say Biff Cluckerton, and turn him into a tasty, tasty meal under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
I just these people are, for want of a better term, in Iowa Park, completely citified.
Yeah.
I don't think they killed those chickens. I think they got them in cages and they're trying to find a butcher.
That
They're
wouldn't
butchering
surprise me.
for me, and I'm just like,
That wouldn't surprise me.
you take the chicken.
Well, my question is, did you smell this horrendous odor last night?
Uh-uh.
Because if you didn't, that means they have not boiled them suckers and plucked them yet.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're looking for a butcher
Probably,
because they're too.
or a volunteer.
Yeah.
You pick the chicken. First off,
kill chicken.
you pick the chicken up by the head. You swing him around like a boa.
Yeah.
Then you hit him on the table a couple of times,
No, if you do it right, you just wring his neck, you
And
toss
then-
his head off.
and then you cut the head off.
No, you
Knock
can
him on the
pop the
table.
head off.
Well, it's just fun.
And then they're
just
going to
fine.
run around without a head.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
That
still.
was. I thought that maybe the Trash Panda Strike Force had finally managed to get through the wire, because there's been trash pandas that have
Mhm.
they've been monitoring the situation, And
They're just waiting for the contract coyote that they hired.
the PLF would not get out after the sun went down. They were back in their little bitty coop because the strike team trash panda was waiting. There's also a gray fox that got one of them. But the gray foxes in this area aren't real big. The coyotes whack the big ones.
Yeah.
So he's about a 12-pound gray fox, and he ran off with one of the hens and pulled it.
That's what foxes
Yeah,
do.
well,
Mhm.
the hen was bigger than him.
Yeah.
And he's smaller than Chewy. And he pulled it backwards through the fence.
Well, but
And it was a little difficult because the feather stuck.
with that many roosters, I'm willing. The hen said, "Just take me."
Well, Helen Hennington, I haven't seen Helen in a couple of weeks, and I finally saw her today, and I'm pretty sure Helen's going, oh, thank God.
I'm convinced there's a pile of eggs hidden somewhere that are going bad.
No kidding.
Yeah. Raptor's going, I must not paraphrase the Dead Parrot sketch. I must not paraphrase the Dead Parrot sketch.
Hiding for the fjords.
Oh, they are pining for the coop as we speak.
Yeah. It's just these people should not.
Have chickens?
Yeah, I mean the collective intelligence in this house that has the chickens is about 4.
Yeah.
You are actually probably fairly optimistic.
It's just
No, that's 4 teeth.
Oh,
let's get chickens and we'll get 2 hens and 4 roosters because that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because we want a matriarchal society.
well, and the coop, the coop and yard that they're supposed to be staying in is the size of this dinner table. Literally.
Yeah, it's
Which is not big, folks.
No, not for that
then
many
you
chickens.
put a cover on the top of it and you feed them. You don't expect them to free range, is what these people are doing.
Because Bakamoto was the first one to get over in our yard, and I managed. I was still fairly sympathetic in the day, and Mochi was dragging him backwards under the Morgan building. He had his wings out, and I was looking at him. It looked like one of those horror movies because there's this chicken head and wings, and everyone it'd go back, and it's like, what the hell is going on? And the hell's Mochi? Ah, crap! Give me the bird. Mochi and
But now
Katsumi was about the size of Mochi, and she was fixing to eat well.
Yeah, Aaron says we got skunks, foxes, and hawks that get the chickens out in Utah. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the reasons the coop is so small is those great horned owls that live at the church.
Yeah.
oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah, those guys, small, about the size of a 4-year-old child, 4-year-old American.
Yeah.
Well, they've been growing for a few years.
Yeah.
They've
Well,
been eating well. too.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention what they've been eating, but the fact the coop is this small means that they can't airdrop in.
Yeah, they might. That's a good point, Sanford. If they brought fertile eggs, they wouldn't have known what the sexes were.
They were live chickens. They didn't show up as
Oh, they
hidden
did?
fruit. They showed up as live chickens.
If they had bought chicks, I bet you they did buy chicks first because they're cheaper.
No, they didn't buy chicks. These were
Yeah, but the chicks,
teenagers.
I guarantee you they wouldn't be able to keep the chicks alive.
Yeah, these were teenagers when they got them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were. They were
I bet you they bought chicks
3,
first.
4-pound birds.
They all died, and they're like, okay, let's buy older.
No, they showed up with these. They had, I think, 8.
Yeah,
They
they
had-
had more than the 4.
Yeah, they had 2 of the Japanese longtails, and one of them yelled "freedom" and flew in the neighbor's yard with pit bulls, and never seen again.
The pit bulls use the underground chicken railroad to get them to safety.
That's what we're telling the kids. And then there was a hen that a loose pit bull got on my front porch. I walked out and there's feathers everywhere. What
Did
the
you-
hell?
Did you praise the pit bull?
No, because that was a pit bull that tried to thunder run at Chewy and me.
Oh.
Every time I'm out, he lives down the street, and I keep reporting him to the cops because he doesn't like me for some reason.
Yeah.
And I'll be out.
Probably because you keep reporting him.
I keep snitching. I keep marking him out. But he'll come up and make thunder runs at me. Finally, I walked to the porch and picked up my machete. And I was standing there saying, all right, let's do this. And the neighbors went, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, don't step on the property. Buster, come here, Buster. No, Buster's fine.
Cedar says we lost chickens in a wire-roofed portable coop because the hawk could reach their heads. Yeah, that would be messy.
Well, the grate on this wire, a gray fox can get through. A small gray fox can get through and drag a chicken out, as I previously. But the size of the great horned owls we have, they can't get through that.
Well, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Horned owls, normally, they snatch and keep flying,
Right.
Yeah.
kind of like eagles do. They're not
They don't land. They don't.
they don't pounce like some raptors.
The,
They pounce.
Yeah,
And
the-
they
the-
get they kill it there, and they may fly off it afterwards. But they
the barn owls that are
Yeah.
hunting,
and I'm thinking
they hit on the ground. But
Yeah.
the great horned owls they're very delicate and try to keep their
they snatch.
nasty
And,
little claws off the ground.
yeah, which is why they tend to stick to mice and small cats. I mean,
Yeah.
to say that, folks.
Julian says turtles will eat crawfish tails through a trap. Yeah, they will.
Turtles will eat anything.
Turtles ate the bear trap we had set out.
Jerry says snitches get stitches. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, snitches have machetes and bring it.
Yeah.
I don't mind taking a hit if I can get in a hit with a machete because I'm good with machete.
Yeah.
And I would have.
I just have this picture of his neighbors on that side and him on this side, both going, come here, boy, come here, boy. And you've got this machete.
Yeah.
Come here, boy. Come here, boy.
Yeah. And I had it in a high ward, but I was ready. I was fixing to take out a dog. But I'd have given it back.
Yeah, in pieces.
Yeah, damn Skippy.
RK says, well, I really like eggs. I'm not about to go back to taking care of chickens.
No.
Left that when I moved
Well-
off the farm, not going there again.
Well, they don't, these guys don't take care of chickens either.
No. And they've been roaming all over the entire block. I
As
mean,
you do, because you scratch out the worms in this area and you have to move out farther and farther.
I will say one thing: the infestation of, the larval stage of the June bugs,
Yeah.
that nasty little worm that tears up your yard.
Yeah.
You walk out and your grass is spongy because
Yeah.
everything under it is a sponge.
Mhm.
We don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah.
I'll give the chickens props for that
Yeah.
one.
Aaron says, chickens and turtles are dinosaur garbage disposals.
Yeah, no kidding.
Pretty much true.
No kidding.
Because chickens trace back that far.
Oh yeah. Well,
I read a study a few years ago. This guy was turning on and turning off because everybody's DNA sequence
yeah,
has
turning off.
unused genes.
DNA in chickens.
So he was
Yeah.
turning ones that were off on.
Yeah.
Turning ones that were on.
Yeah,
And he came up with a chicken with a tail and
a chicken that looked like a raptor, or looked like a velociraptor.
and had
Yeah.
teeth.
Yes,
But it was
Yeah.
two separate experiments.
Yeah.
So we kind of know where the
there have been 4 movies about this. Stop it.
every one of them has not ended well.
Yeah, everyone's ended in screaming and running and blood
Yeah.
and people crying.
Oh, speaking of which,
And not enough popcorn.
talking about experiments, did you hear about over in England? They've now taught cattle to go pee in a potty.
Okay, yeah, you needed to finish that.
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure cattle knew how to pee already, and I can guarantee you.
So
They didn't
they've
care.
got cattle urinals.
And basically, yes. Because
Okay.
8 gallons a day is the average output of a cow.
Really?
Right. Have you ever worked a dairy farm?
No, I've worked ranches, but
Yeah.
not worked directly.
Okay, we had a dairy farm on our rental farm, and one summer you go in there. The cows pretty much know because they go in, they get milked, right?
Right.
But while they're being milked, they're
Go.
shitting everywhere. So after the cows leave, there's a couple hours of just fire hosing the place down,
Yeah,
and
literally.
then disinfecting it with a mop and some kind of and then hosing it down again so it doesn't smell like
When I
disinfectant.
was at the first boat scuffle up in the Panhandle, my first sheriff's office, I was getting my take-home pay was $997 and change a month. So sheriff said, well, typically, my deputies do day work to make up the. All right, I remember my dad was very romantic about ranches. I'll try day work. Damn.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can understand if you teach a cow to only pee and shit in the litter box. Would it be called the litter box? We call it with cow prairie box. I don't know. It would make milking less labor intensive.
Well, they taught them to pee. They have not taught them to take a dump in the same place.
My thing is, if you teach them using a litter box, do you start feeling guilty about whacking them?
No.
Can you imagine the rake? Because after the cow takes a dump in the litter box, and the rake comes and rakes the
The clumped up litter.
Cedar says the guy's raising money for breeding a mammoth. And
He's
Again, we've had at least 4 movies about this.
Sanford goes, can we set one of those movies in DC with live velociraptors.
The thing is, the guy with the mammoth is planning on using viable mammoth sperm.
Yeah.
Because they found it.
Yeah.
And current either African or Asian elephants.
Yeah.
And his other plan is if he finds viable eggs, which if they found
He's got
viable,
$15 million to play with.
yeah, he could artificially inseminate and use a current African elephant because they're
Yeah,
bigger
They're bigger.
to gestate.
He's also, is he the same one that's also trying for woolly rhinos?
He could be, yeah, but yeah, the thing is, the Siberian tundra, gotta love that place. 'Cause
Well, the thing is the Pleistocene era, the era of the megafauna, was not a good time for Homo sapiens.
well, yes and no, because I'm pretty sure we're the ones that ended the Pleistocene era.
Cedar, what are you playing with?
Uh-oh.
She says, putting away whiskey lactones and birch tar. I don't know.
Do you know where all the ivory for pianos come from these days?
Mammoths?
Mammoth tusks.
Because of
There's
stupidity.
so many of them.
Because of stupidity, you can't bring anything from Africa anymore.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just that mammoth tusks are just that numerous.
Yeah, the ivory from Africa is so tightly controlled that it's a pain in the butt to.
Well,
So
They don't need ivory from Africa.
Yeah.
the
There are
classic
that
example.
many tusks. There are that many mammoth tusks out there that they can get all the ivory they need for the piano keys from mammoth tusks.
No, the problem is, it's illegal now to have ivory in the United States, period.
Yeah, it still doesn't matter because of the fact that there's so many mammoth tusks.
Right.
They don't need to source it.
Anyway,
Irregardless of that, Gibson got sued
I understand.
because they are a right-wing organization over the ivory that they were using on guitars,
no,
even
I
though it
remember
had
that.
been illegally imported.
I remember that.
Gibson, it wasn't the ivory on the guitars, it was the wood from South America they were
No,
using.
ivory.
Also, the ivory on the
Ivory too.
guitars.
No,
Because they use the,
but they confiscated
They traded
all
ivory.
of their old
Yeah.
growth wood that they had aging for 100 years.
And all the ivory.
Yeah.
Right. It was, but it wasn't just the ivory. It
it
was,
was everything.
yeah.
They want to shut them down.
RK says today's piano keys are not ivory anyway; they're plastic.
That's one.
I'm willing to bet that if you buy yourself a Steinway,
Oh, yeah.
it'll have ivory.
Too much so. Not getting the pianos.
Steph said it was the rosewood that they took. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the ivory, if I remember right. Well, the ivory was the initial.
No.
Yeah.
The initial.
yeah. It was initially the ivory, and then they hit them for the
Rosewood.
exotic woods.
The one I caught up with that news story, it was all about the wood.
Was it?
Well, that was the
Yeah.
second iteration.
Because it was popped up my feed because I've got a Google thing for ivory. And that's why Gibson popped up on the ivory thing.
Plus, Ovation loved it.
Yeah,
Ovation guitars loved the fact that Gibson got busted because Ovation uses some kind of plastic or whatever.
yeah.
for their-
Speaking of popping up in the feed today, did you see the latest from Camel Toe Flaptron?
Oh my God. The
Scalzi.
the sad puppy thing at the Hugos has been over with for
Is it still- is he
years.
still digging that
He's
up?
writing a story. He's writing a book about it.
Camel Toe is writing a book.
Yeah, I can just imagine what that book's going to be like.
Oh, apparently the presses of it, folks on the puppy side stopped reading after the first three lies.
Yeah.
It's like we are. I say we.
The
The
problem
puppies are living
is he's writing this book.
rent-free.
It's going to get published, and then it's going to become facts.
Well, yeah, but
So you're almost forced to have to write a rebuttal book.
Now,
no, we don't care.
but what's funny is Scalzi's whole post today was apparently, oh, this is all fact, and
Yeah,
we're
that's the
doing
problem.
so much better, and
Whatever.
N.K. Jemisin is the current best author around.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
why she's still running a Patreon to get enough money to write.
Not according to him.
Mm,
And
whatever.
according to him, none of us have done anything.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I had the number one
And again,
book
this is
in.
why you're forced to write a rebuttal book.
I had the number one book in all the entire humor category on Amazon for a
Yeah.
significant period of time. He can bite me.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been number one or anything.
In dog years, it was almost a decade.
No kidding.
And of course, denigrating, the Dragon Con.
Of course.
How-
Dragon Con's better
how
not to care.
Supposedly, we took Dragon Con over
Wah,
so we could get all their awards.
Wait. He's saying the conservatives took over Dragon Con so we could take away the Dragon Con awards from them.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
we could take Dragon Con away from them. We
Yeah,
took over
except the
the
fact that-
largest science fiction con in the world.
Except for the fact that Dragon Con existed before us.
Yes.
Therefore, we could not have created it to take it away from.
You're,
Oh my
you're going
God.
to give yourself an aneurysm.
I'm going to stroke out. Is the problem? It's,
And all the little sycophants are.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
sycophants are all
Laugh,
over.
laugh, laugh. Let me kiss your
It's-
feet. Let me kiss your feet.
it's it's so de rigueur standard operating procedure for the left to do this.
Oh yeah.
They come up with a lie, and they repeat the lie often enough, and then people start believing it. I'm going to build a time machine, and I'm going to send them all back to Stalin, Russia, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Our case says spouse unit outsold J.K. Rowling on Amazon for a day. And then the folks revealed who the thriller's real author was.
Yeah.
And spousal unit no longer outsold her.
Nope. When J.K. Rowling did that anonymous, she posted under a different name.
Yeah.
Something. Was it a thriller?
Yeah.
And it was okay, bidless. And then it was leaked. Oh no, this is J.K. Rowling's book. And
Was this before or after she cut her own throat with the woke crowd?
No, this was before.
before,
Okay, because J.K. Rowling is
she's rich enough not to care.
she's
Yeah.
out.
And the thing is she and Jim Butcher are I would say, what's it, censor proof? No, what's the term for
Cancel proof.
cancel proof?
Yeah.
Those two are cancel proof.
I don't know.
They have a big enough crowd that are big enough fan base that you can't cancel them. You can try. It's like,
Yeah, but the problem with J.K. Rowling, she may be cancel proof, but she keeps retconning her books.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
irritates me.
actually, Dumbledore was gay.
Yeah,
Really?
well, it's not just that. That's a minor one. Some of the other retconning just wow.
Our case says, and the thriller stank, by the way.
Yeah.
I've actually never read it.
I am here.
Julian says, Ian wrote a book.
Nope.
You slap him around later.
Nope. Wrote two.
Yeah.
And then stopped.
Speaking of
Working
writing,
on it.
I finally finished a friggin' novella, which is going through,
That's not all of it.
yeah, it is.
That's all of it?
That's all of it. Going through editing right now and cover art.
You mean I could read it in order if I wanted to now?
Hopefully I will have it son of a bitch up within a month. And I finished 2 short stories for 2 different anthologies. I've got another
But you
short
are not
story.
editing.
I've got another short story that's almost done for a 3rd anthology, which by the way will be Tales Around the Supper Table Volume 2.
What's the tables around the campfire? What is?
No, something different.
There's
It's
another.
not a hunting anthology, so don't friggin'
Isn't
start.
isn't there a hunting anthology called Tables Around the Campfire or
No,
something like
there's
that?
not.
No.
No.
There might be, but I'm not in it.
Well, there should be.
I'm kind of embarrassed because my little brother Chris has written 2 novellas since I wrote mine. He just needs to publish them.
Yeah. And Dot published one today.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well done. Is that-
Posthumously, apparently, because she's dead to me. She's dead to me.
So, yeah, the writing front's actually going fairly well, other than for those that wanted RimWorld 4, which I'm working on. I'm 50,000 words in. I haven't forgotten it. It's just, I got drug into saying things. here.
So she's on the 4th book of that trilogy.
Yeah. Now, I never said that was a trilogy, so don't
It
start.
is the Curtis way.
It is. I'm on book 7 of a trilogy.
Oh, damn, RK, you just backed me into a corner. I'm Shattered Under Midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shattered Under Midnight.
Well, that was the working title. I don't know if that's the title she went with.
I think that's the title she went with. Anyway, Dorothy Grant. It's a good little story.
If you liked her first one, you'll like this one.
Yeah. That was the one that she was complaining mightily about certain inputs that she got from various
She
people.
asked, I told her.
She
Yeah.
did. She asked.
Yeah, she did ask.
She asked, she just did not expect the level of input.
When
she
you
got.
when you plot out when you plunk down a topographic map and you ask me how I would assault, I'm gonna tell you.
Well, the funny thing is, she didn't tell us what troop levels we had.
She didn't
So
tell
we-
us much. I
So
went,
we planned on a spec ops, maybe a ranger.
Yeah.
Right. Company size are smaller, and then she says, "Oh no! This is within our own borders." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
oh crap.
Oh,
Suddenly there's drones and
Yeah.
Cedar says the chemicals are hopefully to make a whiskey and wood smoke scented product. Okay. That could be interesting.
Okay.
I'd buy that as a cologne.
I still think they'll just make hops number 9 cologne.
I've told her this, and she refuses to. Let's
Oh,
turn out to the crowd. Everybody out there, who wants a cologne that's scented like hops number 9? Just say yes or no in the chat.
anybody who smelled hops? Well, I take that back. Most people who smell hops number 9 will say yes.
Yeah.
There's a few that
Cedar,
it
we-
doesn't.
I know you smell it because I know that's what your better half or other half uses to clean guns with. And if he doesn't have any, I know I've got some here. As far as the con circuit, we're
I'm not gonna make FinCon this time.
okay.
Which
Yeah.
is next weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend,
This week, this
No, I'm sorry,
upcoming,
yeah, this week.
upcoming weekend.
some of us are going to start making some of the cons.
I'm going to. It's just
Yeah.
I got behind
Ooh,
and forgot to catch up.
hops with a bacon high note. I like that.
I got behind the power curve and never caught up on that one.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out if my if our membership to LTUE rolled over or not.
Yeah, I did.
I can't. Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sanford says, I would not want a whiskey cologne. Cops pulling you over will not believe it's a scent. You do have a point.
Well, there's a big difference between
Yeah.
The aroma of whiskey and what is left dried on your clothes after you come to the
the
next morning.
ketones from whiskey breath are
Yeah.
not anything like.
Yeah, Cedar, I'll be down there. We've got a number of folks going from here. It should be an interesting little con.
I'm making you.
Just that every
The
time
hair
you get-
lips, the president. I'm going to be down there next time.
Yeah.
We're going to start making the con. Rita and I are going to start making con circuit.
FanX is this weekend in Salt Lake City.
Not going.
Yeah, apparently Larry is not even going. He's apparently had it with the mask.
They
mandate.
went full mask Nazi apparently.
That's the problem, is every time you guys talk about a con, somebody at the con says, "Oh, by the way, we're triple masking and requiring vaccine passports to."
Oh, the Dragon Con, apparently the folks that went are screaming that all 40,000 need to get tested.
Yeah.
And apparently, and I'm here to tell you, if all 40,000 get tested, the number of false positives is going to throw everybody into just a tizzy.
I was watching the Five yesterday, and their liberal Sherpa was like, "What's the big deal? You have a passport and you get tested. What's the big deal?"
And nobody
And I'm just like-
leaned across the table and slapped the snot out of her.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about the mandates, and they were talking about how Biden says, and this is he's specifically talking about Texas. He goes, "Listen, if your state is fighting against these mandates, don't worry, I've got your back."
Have they talked to anybody in Afghanistan about that recently?
Because Lord knows any dictator is going to want to have your back.
Yeah, they just have, anybody that believes the ficus when he says that he's got your back needs to talk to some of the folks. You can't because they're still stuck in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
6 or 8 months ago, the State Department said there were
Okay,
upwards.
we were not going to do that subject today. So
Okay,
drop it.
never mind.
We've done that enough.
Upwards of 10,000 Americans and passport holders.
Yeah, we know. Yes,
Yes.
Julian, I will announce now there is going to be a Fool's Con 3. So you're on the hook for dinner.
Crap.
There.
Damn it.
I mean, I've got to come up with another
Yes.
agenda.
You started that tradition. People start pinging me on Facebook.
Yeah.
This on the second one, want to know where the itinerary was.
Well, yeah. So it will be in April next year.
You started it.
I know. I just got to keep coming up with ideas for
God
cons.
will see and the creek don't rise.
Well, around here, that's not a lie. So right now we're looking at,
Oh, Julie Frost is going to be there. Super. Julie is sweet people.
we're looking at LTUE
so
in
we're-
February.
We don't need to marinate her or anything?
No,
No.
Just throw her
she's
on the
fine.
grill? Okay.
She is a bird watcher par excellence. She literally travels all over, I know the United States and I think the world.
Looking at birds?
We've got
Yeah.
a couple of great horned owls, but that's maybe
I mean,
some roadrunners.
I've spent a few afternoon weekends on the campus in Reading, England, looking at birds.
Birds, yeah. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we know what kind of bird you're talking about.
We're right now.
Two-legged.
The itinerary looks like LTUE in February. Apparently, Fool's Con in April.
And
Liberty Con.
Fantasy in March if you decide to do that.
Man, it's gonna be
There's another
March,
March
April.
coming
Wow.
out in a
And
few weeks, right?
I don't know.
No? Okay. Because Jonna said the next con she's making is that's FanCon, which is different than
FanCon.
Fanzine, which is people come up with more original names.
Man, February, March, April is gonna be a busy 90 days.
yeah. And then in June is LibertyCon.
We should mandate Zorro masks at Fool's Con.
Sanford, I
Sure.
know.
You know,
that
the
would
black
be
handkerchief with
interesting.
the eyes cut out.
Jonna is here. Don't give her ideas.
Hey, John, are you listening?
Don't give her ideas.
Sanford wants to buy a pink and magenta gorilla costume for you.
I know where you can get the
Pink and mauve.
head.
Mauve.
I know where you can get the head.
Not anymore.
Oh, did they take it from her?
Apparently, she destroyed it because she didn't want to get it traced back to her. It was evidence, identifying information, so to speak.
Oh my God. And it was absolutely not racist at all.
Oh no, no.
And Julian goes, got to start shooting possum for supper at Fool's Con.
Okay,
Wouldn't be the first time I've eaten possum. That's
Me either.
damn sure.
I'm
here.
willing to bet that if we went down to Red River and asked, we could get possum. I didn't see a dead possum on the road last night, though.
Yeah.
I've seen several of them. Apparently, it's possum mating season. They're getting stupid.
Yeah.
Well, this one was the
Possums
middle
and
of
skunks.
369.
Yeah, there was possum, skunk, armadillo.
Oh, no, that's what I saw an armadillo on
I've seen a
369.
lot of armadillos. No
Yeah,
trash
the one that
pandas
was
though.
paws up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an armadillo.
I've seen trash pandas though, so maybe they're learning.
Yeah, the armadillo. Somebody hit it as I went in this morning, and it was still spinning.
Well, the thing about armadillos, folks,
It's possum on a half shell.
for those of you that never had to deal with one little terrorist,
Something bigger than 45, because that'll bounce right off that armor.
well, when they're startled, they jump straight up. And generally speaking, those 12-inch long digging claws, I know they're not that long, that's what they look like. They're flailing like this as they go up, and right past your belt buckle.
Yeah.
So the issue is this ingrained jump up response means they usually wind up, when you straddle them and they're going to be okay, like you would for
Yeah.
a turtle, they jump up,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Say bye to the meat and 2 veg.
Yeah. Cedar says, so the ride home's going to be interesting. Semi and trailer splattered all over I-35. Oh, joy. Alternate route.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, take the long alternate route to get home.
Yeah, take Surface Street. Sometimes DFW sometimes that is
But-
faster.
It kind of depends on what they're hauling,
Yeah.
because the last time a gut wagon blew in Clarendon,
Yeah.
there was no going around it.
Yeah.
What was it? There was an accident in Dallas where the semi was going over an overpass and rolled or got blown over, I think, and his load spilled out
On the road below it.
on the road. Yeah, on all 4 lanes on the road below it. So
Oh.
he closed down one side of a north, let's say north south, and 4 lanes and both sides were east west.
It was 635 I-10 overpass.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's it. Yeah.
So he was on 635,
shut it
rolled
down.
over and closed I-10.
God bless Texas.
Yeah, groundhog's edible. It's not great.
Then again,
Armadillo on the hash shell with drawn butter. No, Sanford. Drawn butter will not help the taste of
The
armadillo.
thing about armadillo is you gotta cook the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Because
or Instapot.
because of leprosy, they do carry leprosy.
Yeah, that is an issue.
So you've got when there are temperature, a certain
Okay.
temperature for a certain period of time, they're serious on armadillo.
RK says the mess cooks put a plum in its little mouth and served it up like a roasted piglet. Yeah, I can believe that.
Okay. Wouldn't surprise me.
Army.
Yeah, but
Wouldn't surprise me.
the axe you would have to just to break the shell.
I remember flinging a entrenching tool at one that was getting away, and almost hitting a German lieutenant colonel.
Yeah.
He would come to see what was going on, and we were on day 13 of 14 days of lasagna T-rats, and me and the boys were going after an armadillo, and he was getting away because he saw 8 hungry army types and went, oh shit, and ran like.
Basically, we
I'm
had a
surprised he didn't pick up the entrenching tool and come back at you going, all right, you son of a
And
bitch.
I would have hit that damn thing too if he hadn't taken a sharp right and seeing the lieutenant colonel. And the trench went right past him. It's like, what's going on here? And we were still chasing the friggin' armadillo because it had to be better than day 13 of lasagna T-rats.
Aaron says, how do they cook the hell out of it? Reminds me, how do you make holy water boil the hell out of it? Yeah. That's an
No.
old That's an old
I
joke.
can remember a field problem where supply screwed up, and we got issued alerts, long range reconnaissance patrol meals, which is that bag you add water to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's either chili mac or
The whole thing is
It's
dehydrated.
carbs.
Yeah,
or
the whole thing is dehydrated.
or spaghetti.
Yeah.
Chili mac and spaghetti. That was it. So we had 2 solid weeks of having to sling water around, and we had chili mac or spaghetti for 2
Yeah.
solid weeks.
We had
I hate
my first unit.
alerts.
Oh yeah, my first unit. We had the commander hated spice. The captain running company hated spice, and the mess cook hated the captain. So whenever he got pissed off the captain, it was canned jalapenos in everything. The first time I got a glop of mashed potatoes with little green rings, it's like, what the hell is this? Cody's pissed at the captain again. What does that mean to me?
Sanford says, whenever I have those, have you eaten this weird food post? I always think about the Army. It means I cheat.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, there are very specific people in a army unit you do not piss off. The first sergeant, because everybody gets it.
Oh yeah.
The cook, because everybody gets it. And the supply sergeant, because nobody gets anything.
The unit clerk. Never ever piss off a unit clerk.
If you ever want leave on a holiday or ever, do not piss off the unit clerk.
Or you want to get your pay in time.
You never piss off admin. You never piss off medical. And you damn sure never piss off this person. Because that means you ain't going to get paid.
Yep. Unit clerk he will handle pay. He handled your leave requests. And if you pissed off a unit clerk, well,
Aaron says all those weird food lists never have jellyfish
Yeah, the thing
or
about
sea
the
cucumber.
thing about the
And I
unit,
don't recommend either one of them.
no.
the unit clerk could drill down and hit one specific person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pissed off the cook, the first sergeant, or the supply sergeant,
It was
everybody paid.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked those 3.
Yeah.
Because if one person pisses off the first sergeant, the entire company is going to feel the pain.
oh, no kidding. No kidding.
Sanford says much safer to piss off the commander. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The thing about if you piss off your CO, he turns to the first sergeant and says, "I'm mad at
Take
this
care
guy.
of this. Take
Yeah,
care of this.
I'm mad at this guy. Take care of it."
And they did.
I always remember Frog Huffman. He was our maintenance officer up in CAF deployment. And we were right next to the 57th FIZ, which was the Air Force Day VFR F4 alert airplanes. Well, it's snowing. It's in March in CAF.
Keflavik, Iceland, for those of you listening in.
There's friggin' 4 feet of snow and ice on the ground.
Because
That's
it's
July
Iceland.
in Keflavik, to be honest.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, Frog's doing a walk around on the airplane. And since it's an airplane with a fairly high tail, you're looking up at things to make sure they're still there, not down at the ground. And he went across the red line that he never saw because of the ice and snow and the fact he was looking up. And 2 of the Air Force MPs face planted him.
Nice, because he crossed red line.
Cross the red line.
How dare you?
Don't do that.
We're Air Force MPs, and
Yeah.
we know how to pedantic.
Yes.
Almost as well as you do.
Almost.
Well,
And
Air Force MPs everywhere have got, I swear to God, the military takes the barracks room lawyers and
Yeah.
says, hey, you want to be Air Patrol or
Yeah.
MP or SP or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be.
So that gets untangled and we go fly. Come back. Well, that night, person or persons unknown
I love that phrase.
went in and zapped the Ready F4s sitting in the hangar with VP-24 stickers, including in the middle of the windscreen
Ooh.
on the inside.
Ooh.
So the Air Force immediately the next day went to their general and went, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." And the Air Force general called the Navy admiral, and the admiral went, "All right, we'll find out." So he called the squadrons, since it said VP-24 on the zap. It was kind of apparent who did it.
Signing your work is not not recommended.
No, you got to
Yeah.
understand zaps. So Skipper Vickery called and all hands on the hangar deck. The entire squadron is standing out there, and he goes, "Okay, we had a little issue last night. Somebody in this squadron went over and zapped the Ready F4s. Somebody got away clean. The Air Force is less than happy. I would like for that person to come forward." Everybody just stands there. And of course, being an officer, we're up front, and I hear this tick, 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 tick behind us. So, shit, somebody's actually going to admit they did it.
Well, he's probably laughing too hard in the formation for them not to know it was him.
This miscreant E4 metalsmith
My shock face.
comes walking up, stops in front of Skipper, salutes, goes, "It was me, sir." And Skipper Vickery looked at him and goes, "Son, why'd you do that?" "Well, goddamn it, they pissed me off because they knocked the commander down in the snow. That was bullshit." And you can see, and Wayne was prior enlisted, so you can see the corner of the lip trying to go.
There's a conflict now.
Yes, there is.
Kind of,
He's right, but he's wrong. But
Yeah.
he's right, but he's wrong.
you know, cough, cough, hack, hack. He walks around in front of the podium and goes, "Son, hold out your hand." Kid looks at him, "Huh?" All right, back in the formation. Dismissed.
See, that happened.
So he replied by endorsement to the admiral,
I have counsel.
have counseled and given the miscreant suitable
Suitable punishment.
punishment,
Nice.
which got passed back to the Air Force. Except in the club that night,
Y'all told him what.
He didn't spend any money on beer.
yeah, no, he didn't.
That happened.
But the thing with Zaps is that was your pride in your squadron.
Ah.
We in 75, we were deployed to Cuba during Vietnam, fall of Vietnam, and some of the guys off the carrier pissed off some of our guys out in town. So our guys took the Skinny Dragon that we painted on the tail, the 6-foot stencil, and went on board the carrier as a working party.
Because nobody ever questions a working
Listen,
party.
you put on the yellow vest and nobody looks at you.
Yeah.
The hard hat and the clipboard.
And stencil carried it up to the 06 level, got the paint, painted a 6-foot high Skinny Dragon on the side of the USS Kitty Hawk. And the skipper went to the admiral for that one.
See, we had that happen where the first sergeant stand in front of, or the CO stand in front of all of us saying, "Okay, this happened. I would like the person who did it to step forward." And one of the guys over in the Apache group was laughing so hard he couldn't stand up. So we're all looking at him going, "I wonder who it could have been."
It's a mystery will never be solved. So that's why I like when I was in school.
SPs, yeah.
Screwing with the Navy and the Marine Corps is because as long as there was no arterial blood painting the ceilings, the commanders really didn't. It's like one of those things.
Yeah.
See,
Jerry says, "Yeah, never cross the double red line at Andrews unless you're delivering pizza to Air Force One."
We picked up coming back from Stewart on a field problem. We got tasked to pick up something at an Air Force base. They wouldn't tell us what it was. It was long and skinny.
Yeah.
So I used exactly one cargo strap to tie it down because if anything went wrong, I was that thing out.
Yeah.
And then we had to fly the thing, and because we're Black Hawk, we had multiple stops at Air Force bases down here in Texas. And we stopped for lunch, and they told us we couldn't leave the airfield. Okay, so we went into the ready room and hit the machines.
Yeah.
And we're walking back to the helicopter.
Yeah.
And a
they
bunch
stopped
of
you.
a bunch of SPs come rolling out, guns out, lights ablazing. And they're like, we're like, no, we're the crew for that helicopter. Like, well, you can't go. You left it. Like, okay, just whatever's on there won't get where it's going.
So it's yours. You fly it.
At which point the SPs are like,
All right, y'all fly it. Bye.
I did not. They wouldn't tell me what it was. It was long and skinny. That's all I know. And I swear to God,
Long, skinny coffin.
if it beeped or rattled or anything wrong, if it turned a greenish color, I was kicking that thing. I had both doors open. It was going out the side.
Yeah, we had something like that happen to us at Barksdale. They let us back across the line. They had watched us. come
Yeah.
off
Oh
the
no.
airplane.
Yeah. These are the same guys that watched us go
Yeah.
and we're coming back with cans of Coke and
Yeah.
crackers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And my cousins happened to be stationed in Barksdale. One of them happened to be the DO of Second Bomb Wing. So I called him at the command center. And I said, hey, would you mind coming over and escorting us back to our airplane that's sitting 60 feet away across the red line that they watched us cross?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So he comes driving up, gets out, and of course they're all, bird colonel. He's going to get a salute.
Yeah.
And he walks over to me, and we're just kind of standing there and goes, what the hell? And I went, they watched us walk off the airplane. They will not let us walk back because we don't have a ramp badge like yours. And he said some interpretive words and said, well, let's go.
It's just how hard would it have been for the SPs to say, hey, you follow them where they're going and then escort them back?
The
Because
SP
they're
started to stop him.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
oh.
He goes, Colonel, they are. And I remember
He's got standing orders. He's got standing orders,
HB
goddammit.
said, son, I'm going to escort him to the airplane. You get your commander here by the time I get back to the line. Took us out to the airplane, and we're pre-flight and getting everything ready to go. And I see this SP car come screeching up. And I see HB and the guy walk off to the side. And HB's doing one of those in the center of the chest.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things guaranteed to piss me the hell off.
Yeah. Oh, we had another incident up in Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, where one of the SPs tried to pick out one of the girls who was up there with us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That one got quashed in a big friggin' hurry.
That was the nice thing about being in an aviation unit in the Army, is our company COs tended to be majors.
Yeah.
Or the odd lieutenant colonel who was waiting to move to another
move
unit,
out.
right?
Yeah.
So if you piss somebody off in another unit, at the leg unit, anywhere else,
Their captain.
their
would
captain come marching into our major's office, and they went with the major to go,
Yeah. And on that note, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time.
Oh,
today.
yeah.
sure enough.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the screw up. I'll try not to repeat that on Thursday.
Y'all be safe.
Be safe. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Just had
You're
one
all
of those days.
You're all right.
I like Sanford's CO top